Hi there, I'm Mark Wills, educator of the loan signing system. I teach thousands of notary signing agents across the country how to build a successful notary business. And every Monday, I go live on Instagram to coach notaries one-on-one. So if you're looking for coaching on how to market your notary business, strategies that are working in today's market, and find solutions to problems you're currently facing, then these live sessions are for you. In fact, here's the latest episode. Make sure you take notes so you can implement these strategies today. What up, girl?
Good
How
morning. Good
are
afternoon.
you?
How are you?
I'm
I
good.
am
Tell me your
so,
name and where you from.
I am Angela and I am from Alabama and I signed up for the notary and I didn't know that the loan signing process was even better than being just a regular notary. So had a great friend to tell me about you, signed up for the class and I'm at the beginning. So
Let's
I
go!
like it out here. Thank you. Thank
Look, okay, so let me just give you a little bit of coaching on your new journey. I think there's a couple things, okay?
you.
So first thing is, I tell every new student, do not be studying more than 2 hours a day. 3 hours max. What happens as a new signing agent, as a new entrepreneur, you're juiced. You want to learn everything right now. But what happens? Have you ever finished a book and then when you close the book, you were like, what was in chapter one? Yeah,
Right.
and it's not because you didn't read chapter one, it's because we can only remember so much at one time. But
Yeah.
the problem here that I tell every new student, if you forget what's in module one, that means you don't get business in the future. So don't make this a race, okay?
Right.
So 2 hours a day, I know you're juiced, I know you're motivated, but
I am.
2-3 hours max a day. You'll get through this in a couple weeks, so be patient with yourself. Like my man Dean added in the comments, slow is a speed. You'll hear me say that all the time. So 2 hours a day is max, right? 3, excuse me, is max. I'd like you to shoot for 2.
Okay.
Just time block it, morning, afternoon, evening, same time. So that's my first coaching. My second coaching is this. The reason we have discouragement is because we have unrealistic expectations. Our expectations are here, we come here. This is the discouragement. So I tell every student, you can't be good at something you've never done. So give yourself grace. If you have to go through the same module 4 times, then go through the same module. Like you're like, I don't understand it. Well, you don't understand it because you've never done it before. Not
Okay.
because you're not smart, not because you're not gonna get it. It's because you're brand new at it.
Right.
So my best advice for every new student is give yourself
And
grace. Okay.
I definitely pray before I study.
Yes. Give yourself grace. You can't expect to be good at something you've never done. If you've never seen a reverse mortgage, like you might have to go through that module 5 times. So just give yourself grace
Okay.
and be like, look, I'm new at this. Because what a lot of times I get students like, Mark, I'm giving up. I'm like, why? It's too hard. I'm like, it's only too hard because you haven't done it before.
Right.
Like give her, like that's the unnecessary expectations I'm talking about.
Well, I
So if
appreciate
you've never seen a home equity line of credit, then like, why are you expecting to get it the first time you've seen it? So give yourself grace, lower your expectations, meaning just know that it's going to land when it lands. Okay, I want you
Okay.
to shoot for the freaking moon, but on the journey, be like, just, hey, I've never done this notary loan signing thing.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be calm,
Thank
patient, 2
you.
hours a day. So don't get discouraged. Okay. And just know that you're going to build this business as it grows. All right.
Thank
So,
you.
all right. So I'm glad you're here. Any questions for me as you start this journey?
What was the hardest thing when you first became a loan signing agent? You would say that was a big challenge.
Girl, good. Okay. So no one's ever asked me that. So, and okay, I'm going back 20 years. So I think the hardest thing for me is I'm pretty outgoing, if you can't tell. And the hardest thing was me for not realizing that not everyone loves outgoing.
Right.
And so I had it because I've always been pretty easy at making friends. I've been pretty easy,
That's
but that
me.
didn't translate immediately to a lot of business. And so what I learned, so the hardest thing was just kind of coming to terms with what basically is the kind of the topic of today is like, I just can't be everyone's cup of tea.
I say the same thing.
And so that's why, some people like you say dude and yo, I'm like, yeah, that's who I am. If someone doesn't like that, they need a different coach. You know what I mean? And so so the hard thing in the beginning was like seeing like, oh, okay, so I didn't tone back my personality. I just actually leaned into it more. And so it was, the hardest thing was kind of not having that quick fire success that like everything kind of came a little easy because of my outgoingness. And then escrow officers, which you'll understand, and title officers are a little introverted. And so when some guy comes in like the Tasmanian devil, they're just like, so the coaching I give you students is literally what I had to learn. And so I learned the hard way, like, oh, I just have to keep meeting new people to meet my people.
Right.
You know? And like, I never talk down about other notary coaches. I think they're all amazing. And they're amazing because there's different personalities for different people.
Right.
And so I'm so blessed and honored you chose me. So thank you.
I appreciate
And oh, you're so welcome. But on your journey, just remember, you'll find the people who love you. And it's knowing that it's impossible for 10 out of 10 people. So that was really hard for me, being an extrovert, you know, center of attention, look at me and like, oh, that's not translating into 10 out of 10 escrow officers giving me business. And so it was really just kind of learning that and then having the moment of like, oh, I got to stay authentically me. I'm not going to change who I am. I just got to go find the people
for you.
And that's all. And so that took me the hard way. It's a good question. No one's ever asked that to me. But again, I give you guys my experience. So hopefully you guys don't make the same mistakes, because I got down, I second guessed, should I change being over the top? And then I realized, no, I'm going to be who I am, and I'm going to find the escrow officers who love that energy.
Right.
And it turned out to be okay. And then same with the coaching business. You should see some emails that I get, girl. I get emails of like, oh, you're a scam. You know, you're a slick salesperson. I'm like, cool. I'm just not your cup of tea.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
And I saw that. You was like, it made a lot of sense. Like, put your questions in the group chat so that if someone else has that question, you don't have to answer it
That's right.
more than one time. So, and I've been watching tons of videos about people who went under your program, and that's my motivation.
Love
And
it.
where I'm at now, I'm learning the vocabulary so that when I'm out there, I can speak their
Yeah.
language. I don't
Yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
I like what you're doing.
No,
I
I
love it.
appreciate you so much. Honestly, you know I'm here if you need anything. Make sure you join your attorney state group with Miss Deborah Smith Owens.
Okay.
She's amazing. She's going to lead you. Dean, who's notary CLT, is also an attorney state owning a signing service. So you're going to make a ton of money. Just remember, I'm the coach, but the players make the plays. So keep making those plays. Keep applying what's in the course. And I'm here if you need anything. Let's go. Oh.
Hello, hi, Mark. How are you?
Good. Tell everybody your name. I see prep and sign notary, and then where
Yes,
you're from.
I'm from Florida, Sandra. I
Oh,
just got
Sandra,
off.
talk to me.
Awesome. I just got off with the other group. I'm in your LSS group.
Nice.
Okay, question. Because I'm going to start marketing next week. How many title companies should I go see?
Every single one. Look, let me tell you this, okay? Let me give you some coaching, okay? Let me give you some coaching, okay?
Okay.
Take some notes. I'm about to drop fire. All right.
Okay.
So here's what you got to remember about sales, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There are people watching this right now, Sandra, who go, Mark is a scam. Oh, Mark's energy is like not my cup of tea, right? Oh, Mark's too much. I get these emails all the time. Oh, you're way too much. I'm not your person. So sales is just about finding your people.
Okay.
So when I tell you to go to everybody, Sandra, like it is a bad assumption to think everyone's Sandra's people.
Okay.
There are people like Mark is not my guy. And I'm cool with that because I understand basic humans. Like everyone's not going to love me. Everyone's not going to love Sandra. So why do I tell you to go to everyone? Because maybe 20 to 30% people actually like you. Like, okay.
That's
And
true.
so that's why I think a lot of times students get in this mindset of, Mark, how many do I go to? I'm like, all of them, because you don't know where the dust is going to settle. And this is also why you can't get discouraged if you don't get hired, because not everyone's going to love you. And that's just basic sales 101. And so the hardest thing to transition into this business is going from an employee mindset to a business owner mindset. An employee thinks they should bat 10 out of 10. A business owner understands it's 3 out of 10, because not everyone's going to love Sandra. You're not everybody's cup of tea, nor am I, girl. I tell the stories inside the Facebook group. When I was first building my business, I'd like kick down the door. What's up? I'm Mark. I want to be your notary. And then escrow officers are like, nah, I'm good, dog. But then
Right.
I
Okay.
would kick down the next door. Boom, what's up? I'm Mark. I want to be your notary. And they're like, where have you been?
Okay.
You just cannot assume you're all things to all people. Does that make
Yeah, it
sense?
makes
And
sense.
so that's why I'm telling you, go to everybody,
Mhm.
because all sales is, now I'm going to end with this, okay? All sales is a matching of energies. So when I'm super high, just super full of energy, some people get completely turned off by that. And some people are like, I love you. And so your job is just to match energies. That's it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
the introverted escrow officers despise me. They're like, I cannot imagine you in front of my clients, because they could imagine someone like them in front of their clients.
Mhm.
Is that landing?
Yeah.
So your job, girl, is just to go out and let everybody know that Sandra's here. What's up? What's up? And if you need a backup, I am more than able to be your backup. Remember when you go out, okay, I'm going to end with this. I'm so proud of you making this commitment. Your job is, you're not trying to replace their number one notary. You know they have a notary before you walk in, right? And
Right.
so what I teach people is you need to respect that relationship. So when you walk in, you're like, hey, I'm Sandra, a local notary. I know you got an amazing notary. So let's
Mhm.
get that out of the way. Like, I know he or she's amazing. But I also know if he or she is on vacation, gets sick, already booked, that you may need a backup. So here I am. I'd love to serve. It's a 40-second pitch.
Right.
Move on to the next. You're
Mhm.
matching energies. You're saying the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, what's
Mhm.
up? I'm Sandra. I know you have a great notary. It's weird because some notaries don't like to address that relationship. They're
Mhm.
not LSS, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, Mark, I get emails from people who are non-students. They're like, well, Mark, doesn't every title company have notaries? I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand the business.
Mhm.
That notary can't be at every signing at every time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of
And that's
course.
what you say, by the way. That's literally the pitch.
Mhm.
Well, Mark, what do I say? Well, just remind them that you know that current notary can't be at 27 places at once. So instead of using a signing service as the backup, I would love to be the backup. And you say that freaking to every title company, girl, I promise you, two or
Okay.
three gonna holler at you. And then I promise you in 6 months, you're gonna wake up with an amazing business. So don't get discouraged.
Okay.
Remember, sales is about exchange of energy. Don't
Mhm.
be anyone else but yourself. So be authentic. If you're not me, don't be me. You don't
Right.
need to be crazy. And I tell every one of my students who tend to be a little shy, if escrow officers weren't shy, they'd be realtors.
Mhm.
So if you're like, well, Mark, I'm not you, I'm not over the top, cool, because most escrow officers aren't me anyways. Okay.
Yeah, I was just concerned about the amount of title companies I should actually go
Yep.
see, because
All of them.
I'm gonna make a list together to go to the title companies and maybe go to some attorneys,
All of them.
just to
All of them.
work them. But I don't want to overwhelm myself, because the follow up has to
Yep.
come. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
why.
look, what I love is your understanding that, like, look, Mark, if I go to 20, I got to follow
Right.
20. I literally love that.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's part of the building
Mm-hmm.
process. So what I tell people, students, is just expect this next phase of your business.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need to follow up, because you gotta find as many people that match with Sandra as
Mm-hmm.
possible. That's the goal.
Makes sense.
The quicker you do that, the quicker you make money. So if you
Okay.
go to 2 a week, then I want all students to do at least 10 a month, minimum,
Okay.
minimum. That's 2 a week. That's not putting this crazy pressure on you. It's not giving you out of your comfort zone like you're crazy. It's just enough. So
Okay.
at least 10 a month. Keep me posted and let's build a business, okay?
All right. Let's do it. Let's
All right,
go.
let's go. Bye.
Right.
Oh, who's my girl? There's my girl. How's
Hey,
everything doing?
Mark.
What? Okay, so if I remember correctly, we transitioned back into a
Yes,
job. We're going back, but we're rebuilding the business.
yes.
So where are we from our last call? First off, tell everybody your name, where you're
My
from.
name is Andrea. I'm from the Bay
Let's
Area.
go. Okay. So
Okay,
talk to me. Where are we at?
so I'm in the process is kind of going back through the course again, just to familiarize myself with a lot of the knowledge. Going through it again, thank you. The information in the course is very valuable, and I did forget that. But now, and I'm in the process of marketing again. And we talked about in the last call to like, it's not a one perfect way to market. You gotta kind of do A/B testing. And so I went to my first networking event, and I've learned in the course is like when you're at a networking event, you really should promote your value, the value you can bring to their business. And then you say the fortune is in the follow-up. So I followed up. But now it's like, okay, it's time for me to follow up again, but now I'm stuck.
Okay, let's talk about it. Talk about it. So let me teach you. I don't know if you were in last week's mentorship, but it was on how to network. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap of that. So make sure you go watch it in the course. Now, what I told everybody, I want you to hear with this, okay? Everybody watching. Broke people ask for referrals. Successful people give introductions. Let me say that one more time. Broke people, or also known as unsuccessful people, ask for referrals. Successful people give introductions. That's the follow-up. So your goal as a networker, like you learned from me earlier, was to be of value. So after you have these interactions, so let's just say you met someone who's a hairstylist. I'm making this up, right? We all know 2 degrees of separation. We know that hairstylist probably knows a realtor, probably knows a lender, but we're not there yet. We were not looking for that referral. We're someone of value. We're trying to give an introduction. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, I met a hairstylist. How does that hairstylist make money? Cutting people's hair. Right. So it's like, oh my gosh, hey, it was so nice to meet you. It's Andrew again. I met you a couple weeks ago. Is there any social media posts that I can reshare for you? Any specials you're doing that I can give out to my network? Because I want to serve you. Again, it was so freaking awesome to meet you a couple weeks ago. Just trying to stay top of mind and see if you have any time to maybe meet up for another coffee. But again, I'm trying to be of value. I'm trying to give introductions, right? So maybe you met someone who was a plumber, I don't know, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's Andrew again. What's going on? Just following up and seeing if there's anyone else I can introduce you to. Like, who would make your network better? Who would make you more money? Who would give your business value? Because I will scour my own network to give you that introduction. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So your follow-up should be like, how can I help you earn more? And so it's like, hey, it's me. So whoever it is, that's why you should be recording all these interactions in a CRM, like the loan signing systems. But even if you're not, you should be figuring out, oh, the follow-up is just who can I introduce you to? The follow-up is like, what can I do? Because you're never annoying if you're adding to their bottom line. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's like, let's give out it. Let's say you met a car salesman, right? You're like, or you're like, hey, it's good meeting you a couple weeks ago. What can I do to help your business today? Like, that's all the follow-up is, man. Like, no one's going to get annoyed by that, right? It's just like, hey, I'm just following up. Good meeting you. And let's figure out we can circle the wagons again. And remember to watch that. And Andrew, if you stop paying the subscription, $27, girl, get back in there. So cheap. But I did a whole hour presentation on networking last Thursday. It's fire. So my point of saying that is I can't recap an hour, but the short recap is remember that your job is to always lead with who I can introduce you to. Remember, a good networker is a good connector. And so in the exercise last week I did with the LSS community, I said, look, write down everybody you know. I don't care if it's someone who sold you soap from that really cool soap store in downtown San Francisco, because you just want to be a connector. But what we don't do is we don't take inventory of who we know. We don't take inventory of the people we can connect other people with. Because you might have that one cousin who is, who does massages, that one friend who's a nail tech, that one friend who does hair, but you don't keep inventory of it. So the next time you meet someone, you're like, wow, I actually do know a lot of freaking people. But we don't take inventory of who we know. And so my challenge to you is today at lunch, Start making that. I'm talking to everyone. I'm talking about someone who's done your hair 3 years ago. Like, write this list down.
Okay.
Because what you are is a good connector. So the
Right.
next time you meet someone at a networking event and they're like, I'm a florist. You're like, oh my gosh, my best friend's a wedding planner. Again, I'm making this up, right? But if you don't take inventory, then you're not going to know who to connect. And we actually have a way bigger resource list than we give ourselves credit for.
Right.
So half of networking is not looking, how do I get a referral? Half of networking is being a connector. Why? I'm going to wrap up with this, okay? Because, and again, get back into C&M. It's only $27. So what I said in that training, which I'm trying to give you as much nuggets as I can in 5 minutes, is there's something called the law of reciprocation. So everybody thinks, so why are broke people asking for referrals and why do rich people give introductions? Because by giving someone an introduction, they feel an indebtedness to you. So they're naturally going to be, Andrea, what can I do for you? Then you get the referral.
Okay.
But we get the referral by being a giver, not a taker.
Right.
And a lot of people suck at networking because they only want to take, they don't want to give. And my point is, you have a lot to give. You just haven't taken inventory of everybody you know.
Right.
I'm talking down to the people that do your oil change in that car you're sitting in, right? Whoever your hair is gorgeous, who does your hair.
Right.
But you don't take an inventory of this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I know you girls got like lash people and brow people. Come on, I'm married.
Right, we do.
Right?
We
So
do.
like, but you take inventory of everybody who washes your windows, who does your car, right? Who washes your car. Like when we have a list, then we become connectors.
Right.
And so then when you're at the next networking event, someone's like, oh my gosh, I'm a florist. You're like, oh, my best friend's a wedding planner. Let me connect you. You know what I mean? And so a good networker is a good connector.
Right.
Unsuccessful people ask for referrals. Successful people give introductions because they know the introduction will be a boomerang of them giving you an introduction. So anytime you follow up, it's who can I connect you with? What can I do for you? What kind of business you're in? Now, you're not a good follow-upper, if that's a word, if you forget what industry they're in.
Right.
Right? If you forget what they do, because the follow-up should be like, oh my gosh, I totally remember that you sell cell phones. And so, okay, who can I introduce you to sell you more cell phones, right? And that's the follow-up.
Right.
No one's ever going to get annoyed by you adding value. Okay,
Exactly.
I mean, what a great conversation. Let me end with this, okay? For everybody, listen to me. How many, let me rephrase what I'm going to say. How many, what do you think of all the emails that you get in your inbox? What percentage do you open? 50% of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you assume, I'm not talking just to you, but everybody, why do we assume that every email we send is read?
Right.
We do though, right? They're like, well, Mark,
but
I don't want to annoy them. I'm like, dog, you're even assuming they opened up your first one, bro. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to email more than you think, because I probably open up 20% of in my personal inbox, not my business. Business is different. My personal inbox, I open up maybe 20%. So why are you assuming that you get a 100% open rate? So Mark, well, what do I say? Maybe say the same thing you said the other time, because why are you assuming they opened up your last email?
Right.
Did that land?
It did.
So always follow up. It's your own insecurity of like, oh, I'm annoying them, but you're like, you can only annoy them if they actually open up all your emails, and the odds of them opening up all your email is like 20. You told me 50% in your own inbox. For me, it's 20%. And so, you know, when I email some of my people I meet, they're like, well, I'm like, when I'm trying to get a new student, I'll email a new student 3 times a week. And they're like, well, aren't you annoying them? I'm like, why are you thinking they're opening up every email? So if you get into that mindset, and that what I just taught you is the mindset of an email marketer.
Right.
See, a non-email marketer assumes they get 100% open rate. Like that no one opens up 100% of their emails.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
So don't think you're annoying them because, girl, they probably even have freaking opened it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So we have this thought process like, oh, we're annoying them. Like, dude, they've opened up 1 of the 4 emails you sent. I promise you, you ain't annoying anybody. Did that land?
Yes,
All
I
right.
did.
I just dropped a lot on
You
you,
did.
girl. Get back into
I will.
CNM. The whole hour networking is fire.
Okay.
So get in there. You know I'm rooting for you. Let's go.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Bye. Tony, my man.
Hey, Mark,
How
how you
are you,
doing, man?
dog? How are
I'm
you?
pretty good,
All
pretty
right. Tell
good. I love it.
everybody where you're from and so we have a conversation.
I live in D.C.
The Washington, D.C., the tri-state area. Talk to me,
Yeah,
brother.
yes. So I wanted to get your opinion on, like, if we get clients from signing services, is it a good idea to save their information in my phone and then just check up on them every
Absolutely.
few? Okay.
Well, let's think about it like this. Okay. Let's say if the roles were reversed. You were the business owner. Would you feel good if someone like every couple of weeks said, "Hey, thank you again for that signing you gave me 2 weeks ago"? Your job, Tony, is to build real relationships, right? A lot of students think their job is to do a signing flawlessly. That's half of your job. The other half of your job is make yourself memorable over the other signing agents in DC. So anything you can do as a touch point is my point is great. You should be using some type of CRM, email automations that send out emails every 3 weeks. Oh my gosh, it's Tony again in DC. Want to make sure you have my number so I can serve you. Oh my God, so you make sure that you're always doing touch points, man.
When I do the touch points, like, what would you send them? Should I just say, "Hey, just wanted to see how you were doing," or should I send them like some sort of like card or something, or like what can I do to
What
like
does your
nurture
gut
them?
say?
Um, I guess the simple, hey, how are you? Because I always appreciate that when people call me to see how I'm doing. You know.
I think the problem is we overthink business. What I tell every student is this: what would you want? So let's say when someone, let's use the analogy, somebody just washed your windows at your house. Let's just say they did that. What would you like to hear every month, or would it be cool if they just checked in? Hey, are your windows still looking good? Again, Tony, thank you for the business. Like, what would you want to hear?
I'd appreciate if they'd ask about, how I'm doing, my family, how's my life, just show that they care.
But my point is this: is you shouldn't think someone else wants what you don't want. Did that land?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we make business awkward because we think there should be a different way of building a relationship when a relationship is a relationship is a relationship. You know what you would want if someone just washed your car. Like in 3 weeks, like, hey, how's that car looking? Sometimes just being top of mind, all that helps. You know what? I've heard from you, but my car is a little bit of dirty. Why don't we schedule an appointment? So sometimes it's just really being top of mind that helps a business get more business. Not this idea that you have this big manipulative conversation. Just be a human. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
And I'm going to end with this. Like, you had the comment, Mark, should I send them a card? Like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you take the extra step of just showing gratitude or appreciation? The funny part is you already knew what to do. You were asking them to my coaching to you is trust your gut.
Well, yeah, you're pretty successful, so, I want to, I, even if I already know what the answer is,
I
I always,
love it. No, I know. And my coach and I want to reinforce what we know. So here's what I'll end with this. One of the hardest things to do to become a successful business person is to go from the transition of being an employee to a business owner, because those are two different mindsets. As an employee, we're almost taught not to trust our gut. So it becomes a learning curve to go back to our own intuition. And so, yes, I am here to always be your coach, but I also want to coach in you that 9 out of 10 times you already know what's right. But we're almost taught to doubt ourselves because if we make the wrong move in an employee relationship, we get fired. So we to start letting ourselves doubt become the loudest voice. But when you become an entrepreneur, you got to lean back into your intuition. You got to lean back into your own good sense of, I know what I need to do here. And so the transition is just going back into business. Like, you know what? I actually know what the right next step is. I will always be here to reinforce you. But when I'm not here to coach you, I want you to trust your own intuition. That's my coaching. For the in between the weeks where I'm not touching you via these coaching calls. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay. Trust yourself, trust your gut, and keep building, baby. Let's
Thank
go.
you, Mark. Appreciate your
All right,
help.
man, keep going.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to just let everybody know that, look, the biggest thing that you can do right now as a business owner is to relearn how to trust your intuition, relearn how to trust yourself. For so many years, we're taught not to trust ourselves, right? Because goodness forbid we make the wrong decision at work, we get fired. So we always call our manager, we always call a supervisor, am I doing the right thing? But in business, it's almost relearning how to fall back into belief and trust of your own instincts. You all got this. Do not hesitate. Let's go. All right. David, tell everybody where you're from and what's going on.
Aurora, Colorado.
Love it.
Okay.
Colorado in the house. How can I help you today, man?
Okay. So I've taken your course, all right. Anyway, I have about 30 signings under my belt.
Oh my, hold on. That's huge. Can we all give the Dave a big round of applause? Imaging. Okay, 30 in. You keep going.
I do want to go to direct.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me stop
So,
you. Let me stop you.
yeah.
What has been the hurdle on going direct?
Well, I just figured I needed some reps,
Okay.
had some experience, and it's definitely helped. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Because
So are we at the moment where we're like, I'm going direct?
I'm about there.
Okay, so let's talk about there. So I'm just trying to find a coaching moment. That's all I'm trying to do right now. Okay. So what's in here that I can help with?
I think it's in my headspace or so. I'm just
Let me stop you. Let me stop you.
Yeah.
So what did your last closing, was it error free?
Yes.
Okay. Was the signing before that error free?
Yes.
Was the signing before that error free?
Yes. Okay.
So you see what I'm trying to paint a picture of? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this next question in a different way. Are you a good signing agent?
Yep. I learned from the best.
No, I appreciate you, but you are the best because you put the time in. So my coaching is this: you're an error-free signing agent. You just told me that you're a good notary. I think it's time to stop listening to that part of your head and listen to the side of the head saying you're ready, because you know you're ready. I want you to look at it like this. Signing services don't deserve you. Did that land?
Yeah.
I mean, you're giving them error-free work when that deserves to be at a title company. So you're going through the natural progression of a new signing agent to a veteran signing agent. It's like understanding right now you're at that moment of your career where you're like, I know I'm good at what I do. You're 30 in. You don't need 30 more.
Okay.
You know where people need a date, sign, and signatures. You know that if you make a mistake, you're gonna freaking fix it ASAP. Like you're there, right? Like me and Dean just talked about, like it's impossible to be error free. There's gonna be a moment where you skip, but you're ready for this. You're ready for the spotlight, man. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's go.
Oh, that's what I want to hear. Look, here's what I'm gonna say. I am not anti-signing service. I'm anti you not going direct. So continue to work for signing services, but you need to start leveraging that to go direct. I mean, what the beautiful part about you, unlike some of my other students who go direct after 2 closings, which I love, is you can be like, well, no, I've done over 30 signings. I've seen all the scenarios. So that is part of your pitch. You're not brand new anymore. Get that out of your mind. You're no longer a brand new notary. You are 30 signings in, which tells me you're roughly 40 hours in of doing the actual job you're doing. You're not new anymore.
Right.
Okay, you're not a veteran, but you're definitely not new. You're not a newbie by any stretch of the imagination. So it's kind of like letting yourself have that little moment of like, I am not a newbie. I'm newer, but you're not a newbie.
Copy.
Okay, good. And so I want you to go and let people know. And it's just a numbers game now. It's all it is. You know, your job is to go talk to 10 title offices, 10 escrow officers in Aurora, and just find 3 like you. That's all it is, man. Not everyone's going to love David. You got to be cool with that. That's sales. That's self-based businesses. But your job is to understand that I got to go meet 10 realtors in order to get 3 to use me. And then once you understand that's just part of the process, then Then it's just you telling people you're open. Remember, honor the relationship of the current signing agent. Like, hey, I'm David, signing agent. I know you got a great signing agent, but I know they
Mm-hmm.
get stuck in traffic, probably snowing out there in Aurora, Colorado. Like, the roads get too snowy. I just want you to know that I'm a backup before you call a signing service. Because remember, signing services stay in business because notaries like you, Dean, don't go tell them you're able to be a backup.
Ooh, that hit.
Good. So, and then your job is once you've done a few backups for them, then you create that relationship. Now you're trying to work your way into the first position. But your first 3, 4, or 5 are just backup spots. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Like, look, I mean, people get stuck in the snow. They go on vacations. They get out of Colorado. I'm your guy. And then do that on repeat. And by the time summer comes around, dude, you're going to be a full blown 5, 8 direct signings a week. And you're going to be building the business exactly like you want to, man.
Let's go. All right.
Let's
Thank you.
go. Is that my man, Dean? Dean,
This
I
is
feel like I
Dean.
haven't seen you, dog.
It's good to see you. Good to
And
see
just for
you.
the record, I'm trying to grow what you got, dog. I'm
I
trying.
know,
Okay?
right? Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
getting a
beard.
little red beard here.
I got beard envy. Anyways, good looking dream hat, my man.
There you go. You
How you
recognize where
been?
that's from.
I haven't talked to you in a minute. Get me updated and let's have a conversation.
Jody is now LSS, so we have a dual LSS family
Love it.
household now. But I really wanted to hop on. Things are going great, by the way.
Good.
I'm just extremely happy with how things are going. But I have a question. I'm actually writing a blog right now, and it was amazing that you popped up because I was like, you know what, I need to get on and ask him. What is your thought about profiles for notaries where they say perfect signing every time, or they say guarantee error free? Is that really realistic, or should we be a little bit more authentic and say exactly what I
Yeah,
think I
it's
know what
funny.
you're about to say?
Well, it's funny. And again, I think every signing service owner is different. I don't think there's a black and white answer. But what I will say is that I think you watched the virtual conference, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so what I
absolutely.
loved was Bill. So Bill
Yeah,
said, I want to hear about your last mistake.
right.
And so I thought that was really
Hmm.
profound, right? It shows that you're human. It shows you really get that mistakes are just part of the industry, but it also shows that I'm going to take accountability. So it's funny. Until then, I didn't really understand why you'd bring maybe a negative to the forefront.
Right,
But then I was like, wow, that makes so much sense to hear the other side, to hear the fact that I know you can't be perfect. So the truth is this, up until that conference, and I learned just as much as conference as the next person. I always learning myself. But so my point is, Dean, like up until then, I was kind of like, well, why would you highlight a negative? Now, I don't believe in being the over the top, like I don't
right.
do any errors because that's not true. But
I
I
get that.
also didn't think that you should be like, oh, here's my last mistake.
Right,
But I actually loved it.
right,
And so I'm like, wow, that is so good because it shows the signing service owner that I'm human. I'm not going to mislead you and say I'm perfect.
right,
But I also loved how it showed how I feel. I never teach anyone to be like, I don't have any errors,
right,
but I always kind of thought, well, shoot, you should kind of highlight the positive, not the negative. So up until then, my paradigm has changed is my point.
right. Okay, and that I was kind of thinking that as well, and so I mean I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hop on here and get your
Yeah.
thoughts,
Yeah,
because
but
it's
I'm evolving too. What I love about you, I mean, look, Dean, you're as good as I am. Like, I just happen to have a big platform, but I think every notary is amazing. And so, my point of saying that is, I'm always learning and evolving. Dog, keep building that business, baby. Bye. I hope you got value from this one-on-one notary coaching session. Make sure to attend the next coaching session next Monday on my Instagram page. And if you're ready to get started on building your notary business, click the link below to join the loan signing system today. If you like this video, hit like and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. And as always, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. Let's go.